It's Linda Light, and I'm here today to give you guys a tip on how to really end those poop loops. You know, those cycles we keep repeating. And it's something I've been working on for the last week or so. It's just a crazy little tip that might help you in your day when you're trying to stop your intrusive thoughts, your repetitive thoughts, things like that. So, we know this is more for people that are on the ascension path, that are on some kind of, let's say, self-improvement or self-correction path. You know, not a path where you're blaming people on the outside for everything in your life, but when you've turned the light back in on yourself and you're making corrections so that you can become in alignment with your own higher self, with your soul, with your spirit. If you're trying to balance spirit and ego, and you're making active corrections and you're getting to know thyself through your thoughts, if you're on that path, this is for you. If you're not on that path, this might seem a little bit too complicated or too hard, or you might not even watch this far. So here you go. Here's the tips. So when you start naming the game, when you catch yourself in action, in thought, in action, let's say it's a fear program. I mean, it's either fear or love based anyway, right? It's only one or the other ultimately. But let's say those sneaky little voices that creep in your head that tell you you're not good enough, or, you know, whatever it is. Let's pick an example off the fly. Let's see. So let's say let's say you are, I think of one right now. Let's say, all right, I'll use one that I used this past week. Let's say you're getting ready to eat something, okay? And you look at it for just a minute because it's a leftover and you're just not quite sure if it's bad or if it's going to make you sick or what have you. And let's say you have a little bit of a fear for a minute that pops into your head, and it's just a little bit of a thought. Now, that's a good thing to have go through your head is, hey, this could be bad, right? This could make me sick. That is the epitome of what the ego's job is supposed to do. But if you say, like, oh, I might get sick, I'm going to throw this out. You know, maybe you smelled it. You didn't smell anything bad. It smells okay. Your smell is supposed to tell you something. So let's say you go to, you know, you're looking at it and it's like, well, I really want to eat this. Maybe your body needs the nutrients from like whatever. Let's say it's potato salad, and let's say you need those potatoes to ground, and you know the potassium or all the whatever calcium is in in the potato salad. All right, your body really needs it. And let's say you're looking at it saying, okay, I might get sick. Thank you, ego. Thank you for doing that job. Let me smell it. Smells fine to me, right? So now you could taste it, see if it tastes sour. Your taste could give you more biofeedback that says, you know, from your senses, your inputs to say, okay, it tastes fine to me. So you should have, you know, your senses working about you. It looks good, sight. It smells good. Maybe the first little taste test tastes good. So you got three senses that are saying it's okay, but you have that little voice saying, oh, but you could get sick. So your little ego is kind of getting in the way here. Okay, so here's what we do. This is exciting. You're going to love this because once you start doing it, you're going to apply this to literally all your thoughts. If you're in action and you're actively working every day, every moment that you can to become the highest version of yourself, then you will definitely love this once you start applying it, because it goes from the small all the way up to the biggest fears that you've got. All right, so let's say you have that voice pop back in again, even after you have three senses, three feedback things telling you that it's okay. You say, okay, fear, I see you. Fear of getting sick, right? Fear of getting sick. Is that what it is? And you ask yourself and you drill down so you get to the core fear. And the core fear of getting sick it might stop right there at getting sick, or it might be go down further. Maybe it's fear of dying or fear of being incapacitated or whatever it is. So you drill down to get the core fear programming. And let's just say it is fear of getting like deathly sick from eating spoiled potato salad. And you just don't want to go through like, the whole purging process that goes with that. Okay. So you get to the core fear. I see you, fear of getting sick. So once you name the game, do you just leave it there? No, no, no. What you do now in your empowerment is you put that fear to task. And what do I mean by that? You say, okay, fear, I see you. Fear of getting sick. So whatever the fear is, remember the opposite, complementary but opposing force must also exist. We live in duality, do we not? So if your fear, you say, I see you, fear of getting sick. The opposite is your mantra. The opposite is your medicine. Your poison is your medicine. So you use that mantra. You can use it for everything. And you say, my poison is my medicine. And you own that. You know that it is yours. You are the great transmuter and the alchemist inside. So even if, and I was going to say, even if it's a little bit spoiled or there's a little bit of chance of something negative in it, that's why we bless our food. That's originally why we say grace and we bless our food, and we're taught to do these things, because back in the day, you're energizing, you're clearing, you're purifying. There's a say hey key in Reiki that you use, a symbol to bless food with, so it will take out any potential chances. Now, you still got 3 senses telling you it's good potato salad. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not going to make you sick. 3 of your senses told you that. So you can still bless it because you're going to raise the vibration. But just to clear the field, to own that, to know it in your thoughts, that you can do this. Your field can extend to that food. That's why when people make food and they are making it in a quantum state of mind, in a really great place in their mind, you never, never, never want to bake or cook when you're angry. Never, never. It's like creating poison for people. So you always want to create in a loving state, in a state that has healing infused with it. That's the way to go. So in this scenario, you are naming the game. So you name the fear program, you call it out. Then here's the bonus key. You put it put it to task. So this thought can be, you could think of it as your demon. So your demon on your shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder, you know the analogy. You know what I'm talking about. Excuse me. We have this demon here who's saying, but you could get sick, or the ego, right? And then you got your spirit. Well, what is spirit saying? What is the angel side saying? It's either one or the other. And you use that as your mantra, like my poison is my medicine. Turn that fear program into the opposite. Now you put it to task and you tell it, I see you. You have no authority and power over me. Now you must. And you command now. This is where you get in your full command. You don't ask, you don't plead, you command that any time that there is a fear, such as fear of getting sick from anything, you say, I realize that could be a very valid fear, but what you need to do now, by my command, is you need to provide me with the opposite insight before I make an informed decision. See what I say? See how it works? So every time that you could have a fear of getting sick, you become aware, because this little guy over here is now tasked. You put it to task. You put the demon to task. You put the program to work. You put the communicators, you put them to task by providing both insights. So not only are they doing their job, if it's the ego and the job is to warn you of any dangers, of any, oh, you could get sick, or oh, you could be in danger. You don't want to say, you never do that again. You don't want to obliterate that thought. You don't want to look at that demon and say, oh, be gone, demon. Like, you are both of that. So you have to balance both. How do you balance the ego and the spirit? I did a video on that I think my last video, I'm not sure, but yeah, I did a video, did an article. I've been writing about these things and talking about these things. So it's important. It's important to remember the key when you get that fear program to call it out when you name the game, but you have to finish it. That's only step one. Once you do that, you put it to task. You tell it to provide you with the opposite but opposing but complementary force of knowledge so that you can then make the informed consent that's required for any free sovereign to truly make a decision on anything. So when I say your lessons are the reason for your choice, this is what it means at the heart of it. You cannot make an informed decision without having both sides. You have to have both sides. You have to have informed consent. So you're assigning the task, you're commanding and putting to task once you name the game, because it's like, oh, I see you. If you're playing hide and go seek and you see somebody, they're it, right? You know what it means? You're it. Well, you're calling out your demons, your ego, your fear programs, your poop loops. You name the game. Once you name the game, you have the full power. So you take your sovereign power, put it to task, and there you go. So I hope that helps. Use that through your daily practice and watch the changes and empowerment just pour in. And it's okay. It's a little busy first couple days that you start doing this, but once you put it into use and put it into practice, I promise you, your life will change drastically. So enjoy. I love you. See you next time.